Hey y'all, welcome to TXT Tells All, or welcome back if you're one of our subscribers. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Tracy. I'm an attorney, and we have been talking about student loans for a while now. You know, if you know that student loans have been a big deal in the news and the media, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic. The Biden administration has been trying to do a lot to forgive at least some, if not all, of your student loans if you fall into different categories. So if you're watching this, before I get into the new developments, which are big for a lot of us, especially me, and I'll explain why, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit like on this video, and also check out our Everything Student Loans playlist. We've been following the developments of the student loan forgiveness programs, the student loan pause, and all of that since this all started back at the beginning of COVID in 2020. So if you haven't checked out those videos, make sure you check those out. Larita got her student loans forgiven over $200,000 through the Public Service Student Loan Forgiveness Program. So if you are a public servant, if you work for the government, I highly suggest you go check her videos out and make sure you know that information, because you potentially could get your loan completely forgiven through your jobs in public interest. And you can watch her. She'll give you the step-by-step plan on how to do that and show you that she followed those steps and actually got her loans forgiven in the end. So shameless plug, make sure you go ahead and watch our Everything Student Loans playlist. Now, let's get to the development. Now it's March 2023. We have been in forbearance, in COVID-19 pandemic forbearance, if you qualified, for years now, since 2020. So we're coming up in the middle of 2023. We're still in forbearance. And if you watched the last video I did on student loans, I focused on the Supreme Court hearing because they have been trying to challenge the Biden administration student loan forgiveness plan, saying that, the Department of Education does not have the power to do that. So we have not seen what the Supreme Court is going to decide. Word on the street is that the decision by the Supreme Court should come out in about June of this year. So right now we're kind of like sitting ducks. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. Is the Supreme Court going to strike down the Biden administration student loan forgiveness program or not? But I wanted to highlight something very, very specific today. Now, I have over six figure student loan debt, right? Went to law school, racked up all the student loan debt to pay for it. I have paid my student loans. If y'all have watched some of our previous videos, I've been honest with y'all, my student loan payments are like a mortgage. And this student loan pause has definitely helped me. But a lot of the points in the student loan forgiveness program just didn't apply to me. I mean, I wasn't able to take advantage of it. So this is really important. If you are in an income-driven repayment program, I will tell you my student loans are serviced through Nelnet. I also have Navient student loans, and I have been paying those through the pandemic because they don't qualify for the pause. But anyway, focusing on my Nelnet federal student loans. Now, so I consolidated my loans years ago, and now they're serviced by Nelnet. I know a lot of you are probably serviced too by Nelnet or Fed loans. This applies to you if you are on an income-driven repayment plan. I do the income-driven repayment plan that's called Pay As You Earn. So you kind of, pay for 20 years, 240 payments, and then your loans will be forgiven. So whatever is left of your student loans after you make those 240 payments under the income-driven Pay As You Earn program will be forgiven. The big news is that now there's going to be an IDR account adjustment. And what this means is that if you are on an income-driven repayment plan, your account will automatically be adjusted. Most likely this is going to happen at the end of the pause if it goes through, to count this period of time that you have not been making payments through the student loan pause. So that's huge, right? You're getting credit for the no payments that you've been making from 2020 till now to count towards that income driven repayment program. So I'm going to read this to you because I just think it's important to understand exactly what's going on here. It says borrowers who already have government held or direct federal student loans can benefit from the IDR account adjustment automatically. So you should make sure that if you haven't yet, that you have consolidated your loans. And this is a big part of the new news, right? They've moved the deadline. So it says borrowers who have commercially managed FFEL, Perkins, or Health Education Assistance Loan Program loans should apply for a direct consolidation loan. So like I was telling you, I applied for direct consolidation years ago. I made sure I consolidated all my loans through the direct consolidation loan plan, and now they're serviced by Nelnet. So when I log on to Nelnet and log into my account, I can see direct consolidation in there. That's how it should look if you consolidated your loans. So it says the department has moved the consolidation deadline several times. So there were deadlines for you to consolidate your loans. The first deadline was January 1st, 2023. Then they moved it to May 1st, 2023. And just last week, the department quietly moved the deadline again to December 31st, 2023. So that's a really, really important date. If you are in doing an income-driven repayment plan and you haven't consolidated your loans yet, you should apply for a direct consolidation loan. And they moved the deadline. So if you missed the May 1st, 2023 deadline, you have now until December 31st, 2023. So that's the end of this year to apply for a direct consolidation loan. So make sure you do that because that will put you in a position to benefit from the IDR account adjustment. So the IDR account adjustment, I called Nelnet today right before I got on this live. I called Nelnet and I just wanted to find out, where I was with my loans. I looked at my status. When I went and logged on online, it said status COVID-19 pandemic forbearance. And then it showed that my monthly payments will resume in September 19th for me of 2023. So with the Biden administration's loan forgiveness program, we're still in the pause, and the pause is going to continue. Now, they're saying that the pause should continue until June 30th, let me read it to you. So it says President Biden's most recent extension of the student loan pause is set to end 60 days after either June 3rd or the date that the Supreme Court rules on the administration's student loan forgiveness plan, whichever occurs first. So if you have no idea what Supreme Court hearing we're talking about and what they're ruling on, make sure you go back and watch my last video that I posted where I explained the Supreme Court hearing that they had. I think that was just about a month ago. So our student loan payments are going to resume either 60 days after June 30th. So that's 2 months after June 30th. So that's June, July, August. So they'll either resume the end of August, and that's probably why when I went on to Nelnet, my first payment is then due September 19th, or after the Supreme Court rules on the student loan forgiveness plan. So they say that the Supreme Court isn't going to rule on the student loan forgiveness plan until around June 30th anyway. So if we're looking at 60 days after June 30th or when the Supreme Court rules, it's going to be around the same time, right? Now, that doesn't mean that the Biden administration couldn't extend the loan pause even further, because as you probably know, we've gotten extension after extension. They said the extension is going to end, and then they extend it again. So who knows what might happen? Depending on the Supreme Court's ruling, they may extend it even further. But if you kind of want to keep in mind, when might I have to pay back my student loans, you're looking at the end of August, early September, when you might have to resume payments. But the big thing that today I was happy about was when I called Nelnet, I wanted to clarify. So with this IDR account adjustment, am I going to be given credit for all of this time that I actually haven't been making payments towards my IDR? Because what I didn't want to happen is, okay, I've had this time where I haven't had to make those super high student loan payments, which was great. But now I'm set back, right, in my income driven repayment program. I started my IDR in 2014. So I wanted to know, have these past 3 years been counted towards my 240 payments? And the representative that I spoke with today on Nelnet said yes, because of the IDR account adjustment that's going to be happening, I'm going to receive credit for all of these payments during the COVID-19 pandemic forbearance. So it's going to be as if I was actually making payments. Um, she said that the adjustment, I would probably see it at the end of the pause. So once student loan payments resume, I will be able to see that adjustment, the IDR account adjustment, which is great news, right? Because essentially you get about 3-4 years towards your income driven repayment program, as long as you have done the direct consolidation, right? So if you haven't done direct consolidation loans, you have time. If your loans qualify, you now have until December 31st of 2023. Also, I always say go on your student loan servicer website and just check out what's going on. Check out the status of your loans like I did today. Another thing, make sure that you know when to recertify. I know for me, I had a change in income because I switched jobs. I went from working for a firm to now working for myself. So I had a change in income. So make sure you know you have the correct financial information so that if and when student loans, we do have to start repaying our student loans, your monthly payment is based on the correct income, because a lot could have changed from 2020 till now, 2020 when the pandemic first started, and then let's say the end of this year if student loan payments pick back up. Now, for me, make sure you ask your student loan servicer when you are required to recertify, because for me, I don't have to recertify, which means I don't have to resubmit income information until November 25th, 2024. So the representative was basically telling me that, if my income has gone down, then of course you want to recertify because you want to get the lower monthly payment. But if your income has gone up, like let's say you get a new job tomorrow and you actually that's paying you more money, but you actually don't have to recertify till, like me, November 25th of 2024, then you might be able to stay on your current monthly plan based on your old job's income and then wait to recertify later on next year. So that could be beneficial. So make sure you ask before you submit new income information. If your income has gone up, make sure you ask when you have to recertify and, kind of use that to your benefit. So a lot of different things going on, right? The National Student Loan Pause is now entering its 4th year. We've had, if your loans qualified, hopefully you've had a break from student loans. If you had a rough time during the COVID-19 pandemic, I know a lot of people lost jobs, had difficult time paying bills, so that student loan pause is really helpful. But we are approaching a point where we may be in a position where we have to start paying our loans again. So I always say knowledge is power. That holds true for student loans as well. You want to know what's going on. That's why we keep coming on here and giving you guys updates. So every time we hear about new information or read information, we make sure we get it and we add it to our Everything Student Loans playlist. A lot of good information on there. Like I said, if you are public service, if you are in public service, you work for the government, make sure you check out Larita's videos. Really, really helpful. Of course, we're all happy for her that she got her student loans forgiven, and that's one less thing she has to worry about. As for me, I'm still dealing with this, so I will still be on here giving you guys updates, especially dealing with income-driven repayment programs. So we want to get all the benefits that are available to us, so make sure you check that out. If you know anything else that I haven't mentioned in here, I love this being interactive. I've learned a lot from the comment section with people sharing information. So if you know anything else about, what's upcoming with the student loan forgiveness program, make sure you share that in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. So remember, if you haven't consolidated your loans, you now have until December 31st of 2023. And so if you need to do that, make sure you do. Until then, let's just keep watching. Let's see what the Supreme Court decides. And let's see if we get another student loan pause, if we get student loan forgiveness or not. Let's see what happens. I'm here for the long haul because either way, I'm either going to get my loans forgiven, hopefully, or I'm going to have to keep paying them through the income-driven repayment program. So let's see what happens. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We post new videos all the time on all sorts of different topics, trying to be helpful and sharing information. And then also like this video if you found this video helpful. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.